Hello everybody. Welcome back to another Game News Roundup. We're going over the latest gaming news, gaming sales, gaming industry information that becomes available, and we've got a whopper of a potential rumor or even a report or a leak or whatever you want to call it at this point. But Nintendo is apparently targeting the Switch 2, their next-gen Switch, the Switch successor, whatever you want to call it. We don't know what it's going to be called at this point. You never know with Nintendo what they'll name their consoles, because we went from the Wii to the Wii U, the NES to the Super NES, the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance, the DS, the 3DS. Yeah, who knows? We don't know what Nintendo will do with the name Switch 2. But seems to be the easiest and makes the most sense. Go to PlayStation out of PS1 and then you had PS2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. But yeah, multiple sources, speaking with VideoGamesChronicle, who have knowledge of Nintendo's next-gen plans, are claiming that the Switch 2 will be launching in the second half of 2024, second half being July to December 2024. More likely a holiday release. I mean, maybe the earliest we'll see a September release, maybe with a big, like, I don't know, say the next 3D Mario game, and you have Mario Kart 9, or some other more big casual game for the big holiday game. But we will see what Nintendo ends up doing. But yeah, the sources are claiming the second half of 2024 release window is to ensure Nintendo has ample stock available at launch, and to avoid shortages that were seen for the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, which lasted a good couple of years at least, and even now the Series X can be a bit difficult to find at times depending on where you live. Although the Series S has been easily available for a while at this point. But yeah, the sources claim development kits for the successor to the Nintendo Switch are already with key partner studios, with some third and second party studios already have development kits, according to these sources. Not all third party studios, obviously, but some of the main key developers that they partner with apparently already have some. And two of the sources, specifically two of those sources, not all of them, claim the Switch successor will release with an LCD screen rather than OLED screen that comes with a more expensive Switch model, the OLED model. This will be done in order to bring down costs, as larger storage will be needed for the console due to higher fidelity games. And I believe the Switch comes with 32 gigs of internal storage, or the OLED model is 64 gigs. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 125, 250 gigs, roughly, potential of internal storage for the Switch successor, maybe even 500 gigs, we'll see, depending on how much the price of these internal storage have come down, which I know the price of NVMe SSDs have dropped quite a bit in the recent months, by a lot, by like half, depending on which one you want to get. Also, the Switch successor, according to the sources, will include a cartridge slot, but the sources are not sure if it'll have backwards compatibility support, although you would think it would. Game Boy Advance played Game Boy games, 3DS played DS games, Wii U played Wii games. It seems to be like the successor to a main console. Like, how do I explain? I mean, other than the SNES, which didn't play NES games. But yeah, the Wii U played Wii games. Again, the Game Boy Advance played Game Boy games. The 3DS played DS games, type of thing. So you would think it'd be backwards compatible with the Switch. You would hope. And hopefully any digitally purchased games will still play and run on the Switch successor. Maybe even better. Maybe I'll have some, maybe I'll have some better improvements. I don't know. We'll see. But not much in the way of exact details, other than the second half of 2024 release window, which would be, again, July to December 2024, which is the second half of the year. And Eurogamer also, in its own report, has stated from its own sources, are also claiming the Switch successor will launch in the latter half of 2024, which will remain playable in a handheld configuration. Basically saying the successor of the Switch is basically going to be the same concept as the Switch, being a handheld that can plug in the TV, or a console that's also portable with a screen. I don't know, however you want to consider it. This saying Nintendo will stick to that same strategy for its next console, the hybrid model of being able to take it on the go, but also plug it into the TV with a dock. But yeah, that was gonna be about it for today. Other than the fact that we got one more quick thing. A couple of industry experts, speaking with Video Games Chronicles, Dr. Serkan Toto, a Tokyo-based video games industry consultant, said 2024 release for the Switch successor would make sense given Nintendo's projected Switch shipments for the current fiscal year. I would generally say that looking at Nintendo's financials, it seems clear that it's time for a new piece of hardware in 2024. Hardware is already projected to fall 16.5% year-on-year in the current fiscal year, which runs from April 2023 to March 2024, while the minus for software is expected to hit 15.9%, so a 15.9% expected drop in software sales. The only way to stop these losses from totally ballooning next fiscal year, so April 2024 to March 2025, is a new device in the second half of 2024. Sounds like a realistic window to me. Christopher Dring, ReedPop's head of Games BTB, and also the head of Games Industry, said 2024 release window would match Nintendo's historical trend. The original Switch released over 3 years after PS4 and Xbox One, which proved to be an effective move for Nintendo. A second half of 2024 release for Switch 2 would be nearly 4 years, or would be 4 years, potentially 4 years after the PS5 and Series X and S launch. Obviously, depends when. If it's November, sure, it'll be 4 years. Before November, it'll be just under 4 years. So we would see a similar mid-cycle launch for Nintendo. I'd argue that unlike 2017, Microsoft and Sony's consoles feel relatively new at the moment, partially due to the component shortages slowing the rollout in the first 2 years, and software delays, meaning we've not seen too many titles take full advantage of either PS5 or Xbox Series X. It's to be seen whether Nintendo will enjoy the same benefit. However, the biggest competitor Nintendo faces is itself. Although its core fans are eager for more hardware, its more family-oriented casual fans will need more convincing. What will the next Mario Kart offer that they're currently not getting from the current one? For example, Nintendo has struggled to upgrade players in previous generations, so how it approaches things like digital libraries and Nintendo account, and even backwards compatibility may prove crucial in the next system getting off to a strong start. He added, in 2017, Nintendo spread out its releases, with a big game arriving almost every month. It launched with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Of course, it was also on the Wii U, mind you. And then obviously we had Splatoon 2. You had, say, ARMS and Xenoblade. And then obviously Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like a month or two after the Switch launched. And then obviously you had Super Mario Odyssey as the big holiday release. And then the following year, we had the first Pokemon game, I believe, in 2018 with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But yeah, to push the console over to crucial consoles. So yeah, I feel like Nintendo, knowing Pokemon, is probably going to push, at least Pokemon alone is going to sell 10 to 20 million, probably initially, but when the first Pokemon game comes out, we'll probably push probably 10 million Switch 2s. When the first Pokemon game comes out, probably over the lifetime of the Switch successor, probably push over 20 million consoles of the Switch 2. Oh, Switch successor. Again, Super Switch, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, whenever they do officially announce it, which, if it comes out in the second half of 2024, or maybe we'll see an announcement next summer. Or next spring. I wouldn't expect Nintendo to announce it so far in advance. A year in advance, or anything crazy. I expect maybe 3 to 6 months they'll announce the Switch successor before it comes out. Because they don't want to absolutely kill this current sales of the Switch. And of course, the other thing is, what are they going to charge for? Considering the Switch is still $300. It launched at $300 in 2017, and it's still $300 now. The OLED is $350, the OLED model, and the Switch Lite is $200. So maybe we'll see a price cut for the Switch. Maybe $170, $180 for the Lite model, $250 for the OG Switch, and then maybe $300 for the Switch OLED. Maybe the Switch successor will be $349. I think is probably what they're hoping to get it for. Maybe $399 at the most. But that might be pushing it, depending on casual fans, how much they're willing to spend on a Switch successor. But anyways, let me know what you think down below in the comments section. I hope you all enjoyed. What do you think? Will you be getting the Switch successor? Will you get it at launch? Will you wait a little bit, see what's coming out for it, wait a few years before there's a strong enough lineup? Do you hope it's backwards compatible? Whether it's using your game cartridges for the Switch or your digital library transfers over. Let me know in the comment section down below. Again, if you enjoy this, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'll see y'all next time for some more gaming news, gaming sales, gaming industry information.